Welcome to the IMDBuds, the podcast where we dive deep into your favorite films, actors, and everything in between. Because behind every movie, there's more than just a rating. What's up, Taylor? How's it going, man?
Good man, how are you?
I am doing well. We are this is your movie.
Yeah, I chose this one because I'd been meaning to watch it for a long time and it just sat there just looking at me in the face. So I chose that so I'd be forced to watch it
Yeah.
and did and I enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it. It's
Oh yeah.
The Secret Life of Walter Mitty,
Yeah.
the 2013 one with Ben Stiller and directed by Ben Stiller as well.
Yeah. This was another one where I think Ben Stiller just knocked it out of the park. There's so many moments where it's like you can see his artistic kind of twist on a lot of the stories.
Yeah, I agree. Well, there's one problem I had with it. And that's Kristen Wiig is his romantic interest in this movie, but she's not really funny in it. Like she's really funny actor and really comedic performance like every other thing I've seen. But in this movie, it's just I don't know. She might have like a couple of like little funny moments, but she's not really all that funny. She was missing,
Yeah,
I think, in this movie.
yeah. I think she had an opportunity, or they had an opportunity to use her. And I think they kind of squandered a lot of her talent.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But she still, I mean, it works. She's good in the movie, and it's fine. But that's just the one little critique I had of it.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah, no, that's fair. So yeah, this one was done in was this the 2000
It was
was it
released 2013, so probably filmed in 2012,
2012?
but it came out 2013.
So this one actually had some amazing plot points. Just the how the story starts off is I think the ultimate, like, I don't know. It's, this it's like you get
It's
introduced to this almost
yeah,
downtrodden guy.
yeah. It is a good introduction to Walter Mitty, the title character, because you learn a lot about him just without him like saying anything. He's just on a dating. He's on eHarmony and looking at a um, profile for a coworker and just like sort of struggling with the send a wink feature,
Yeah.
struggling with whether or not he should click that button
Yeah.
just to send a wink, like a flirty little thing on a dating website. He just struggles with it. He gets up, he stands up, and then he sits back down, and it's just it's a good introduction to his like who he is.
Yeah, it kind of shows some of his internal struggles just right there, how he's just borderline, like, not really able to kind of push himself, but then when he does push himself, it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's right. He finally clicks the send a wink button, and he gets an error message, like unable to perform request. And he does
Yeah,
it again, and it's just the same error.
just
So
fails.
he has to call support for eHarmony, and the voice on the other end of the line is Patton Oswalt, another funny
Yeah.
guy. He is properly used in here.
Yep.
He's he gets invested in Walter Mitty and his problem and his crush with this coworker, and he keeps checking up on him like throughout throughout the movie, just calling him up and asking him what's going on.
Yeah,
I
and
really,
it's
really like that part of the movie, and that I think Patton Oswalt was the right choice for that, definitely.
yeah, it's like the perfect naggy, but still interested in your life, kind of like naggy. It's yeah, and it's like he was able to do like the weird, like overly interested customer support kind of,
Yeah,
you know. Um, so he Walter Mitty. is a known dreamer, and throughout the movie, you kind of see some of his hallucinations in time. Not really like hallucinations, but
They're like
they're more like
daydreams.
daydreams.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they're really vivid.
Yeah, like the very first one you see, he's actually on the phone with the tech support guy, and he like suddenly hears a fire alarm or something, and then he becomes like a superhero and like busts through some glass and saves her dog. Um
Yeah, Kristen Wiig's character is
yeah.
dull. Yeah, it's like a Jason Bourne. You know, in one of the Jason Bourne movies, he jumps from out of one building into another through the window, and it's sort of like that. And then all of a sudden, he's at the floor level, running out with the dog, and Kristen Wiig is running up to say, "Oh, you saved my dog!" Heard barking, thought I smelled gas, is what he says.
Yeah, yeah. And he like fashions like uh a mechanical leg for the dog because the dog only
Oh,
has
that's right.
three
That's right.
legs.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
Because her
but
motto
that
was
was
like,
part of his. This is part of his daydream, and he
yeah,
misses the train.
yeah, it's just that's it's like the perfect I guess segue to her motto on the eHarmony site was, I'm the kind of girl with a three-legged dog and a two-legged child. It's just like very like what?
Yeah,
But yeah. Um so you we find out that he works for Time Life or
yeah.
Time
It's
magazine or
It's not Time. I think it is Time Life. Like that is a magazine that doesn't exist, I think. But, it's like I know that Life magazine existed at one time and Time magazine exists, and this is Time Life or Time in Life. Time in Life. That's it.
yeah.
Time and Life. But yeah,
And
it's a big magazine and it's coming to an end.
yes, yes. And that's kind of like the unraveling of his comfort zone in life is knowing that at least I think from where he is like meeting that ledge of well, I got to do something.
Yeah. But yeah, when he gets to work, another comedic actor, John Daly, greets him or meets him sort of. It's just a colleague, kind of friend, I guess. But John Daly, has been in a lot of stuff recently. This was I forgot. I keep forgetting this was like over 10 years ago. But the most recent thing that I saw him in was the Fallout TV series, where he played like the snake oil salesman doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, he is just going from town to town, like selling, uh, you know, cure-alls and potions and stuff like that. And one of the characters in Fallout, he like makes them a ghoul. He cures him by making him a ghoul.
Nice. I think I remember that.
Yeah, and then we meet Walter Mitty's sister, Odessa, and that's
Mhm.
played by Han, another great comedic actor. And I love her. Everything I've seen her in has been great. Like she
Yeah.
was in, just going back to like I think Step Brothers. Was
Yep.
it Step Brothers? I mean, she was in
Yeah,
like
where she's the
Anchorman too.
wife
Yeah,
of yeah, that yeah, she's got that I don't know, it's like some comedic magic where she can be, it's not so much of a physical actor, but she's a very animated person to where she can just bring that kind of essence of, in this case, she's kind of like she's the sister that wants to be an actress. And
yeah,
uh and it's also the same day. It's also Walter Mitty's what is it, 42nd birthday. So she
that's right.
brings
Yeah,
um it's like a cake. I forget the kind of cake. That's actually a very important kind of theme that goes throughout the movie. The cake comes up a whole bunch of times, but it's like she wants Walter to go finish moving a piano while she can go play Rizzo.
Yeah, in Greece.
in Greece because she's meant to be Rizzo,
Yeah.
hard but sensitive.
She's even, I guess, dressed like the character Rizzo, with like, I mean, it's sort of disheveled, but you can tell she was going for that look of like Rizzo from Greece.
Yeah. Um, let's see. So then they get on. He gets on the elevator, and then he meets. Uh, is that the John Daly?
No, John
No,
Daly is he doesn't have a beard,
he
but
doesn't.
the oh, what is his name? He
The
played
guy from Parks
um
and Rec. That's
yeah, he
that's the only
played
thing I can think of.
yeah, Adam Scott. Adam
Adam
Scott.
Scott.
Yeah, he's in Severance now, which is good, but there's not going to be another series of that until like 2025.
Oh,
But he's got a really ridiculous looking like manicured stark black beard.
yeah.
Like his hair has like a sheen to it, but the beard is just matte black.
It's very off-putting.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look right on Adam Scott, but it just doesn't look right. It wouldn't look right on anybody.
Yeah, and you immediately get this kind of abrasive uh relationship between those two characters. Like he's just like the ultimate dick.
Yeah, he's very condescending and like dismissive. Like I've already stopped listening to you, that kind of thing. And he calls him
Yeah.
Cake Man because he's holding a cake.
Yep. Yep. And there's a lot of kind of where uh Ben Stiller's character just daydreams. And in the elevator he's like uh what was that line? He said something about, do you know who looks good in the beards? I think it was Dumbledore or something like that. And then the people behind him are laughing. It's like there's all of these things that he says
Yeah,
that are like amazing lines, but he's not really saying them. They're just in his mind.
yeah. It's like when you replay an argument in the shower and you're like, oh man, I should have said this, but he's doing it like in the moment.
Yeah, yeah, he spaces out. And during that moment, time is still going on and people are just waiting for him to say something,
Yeah,
which is kind of like he comes back to it and everyone's like, okay. So that's when we learned that Walter Mitty works, what is it, negative or curements or something like that, where he deals with the actual film that comes in from um, the photographers out in the world, where they
yeah.
send him the pictures or the negatives, and then he takes them and he puts them on a plaque, and then they kind of vote on what the next cover's going to be.
And
And
then we see Kristen Wiig's character again, and she's talking to like somebody else, and he goes into another sort of daydream where he's coming back from like an Arctic adventure or exploration or something. He's got like longer hair. He's got like icicles all over him and stuff.
mhm.
And he's a falcon like lands on his hand and stuff. He's talking to
It's a
Kristen Wiig.
poetry falcon.
Yeah,
And that's where we kind of see his how he was taking what, because she was talking about some exploration thing, and then he immediately wanted to like be that person for her, so he daydreams that he's like busting through this poster of this, I don't know, mountainscape or whatever. And
yeah,
it's, he's got like this Latin voice because she said that she was fond of like Latin or whatever. So it's very interesting to hear him kind of mold himself to like, I guess, her desires a little bit like right
yeah,
there.
yeah. Like
Um
wanting to be what he thinks she wants.
yeah, yeah. And that happens a lot as well, where there's a lot of kind of dreaming to be something that you're not, at least yet, because he's always done the same thing.
Yeah. So he gets to his work area, um, and it's like a dark, sort of basement looking place. It's got tall ceiling, and there's like um, steep stairs to climb up to like more areas that where film is being stored and stuff like that. And there's one other guy that works with him down there, Hernando, played by a guy named Adrian Martinez, who I've seen in a lot of stuff, and he's pretty funny as well. He's like a character actor, but he's got a delivery from his um, is it like the senior editor or editor in chief or something who is actually a photographer or something like that? Some like main photographer, a legendary figure.
Sean O'Connell, or yeah,
Yeah,
where it's
he's
it's yeah, where it's like they had a working relationship where he would always handle his films and he would get it to the right places and everything like that.
yeah,
But this one was very special.
yeah. It was the last, I guess, the last roll of film that he was going to be supplying to the magazine, and it has a gift for Walter in it, which is a, a wallet.
Yeah, which kind of has the motto of the magazine inside the cover, like life's motto
Yeah,
inside. Um, but then
and
there's also
Sean O'Connell, because he's a legendary photographer, he still shoots on film. He doesn't do digital, so
right.
you gotta remember that.
Yeah, that's very important because he's a purist, and that's kind of something that uh like carries over to later on. But there's a note in there that says that the here's like the last roll, but look for negative 25 because that is the that's the one. That's going to be the best uh kind of like the oh, I
The soul
forget the
of the magazine or something.
yeah,
The quintessence of life.
there you
Okay,
go,
so
the quintessence of life.
it's the magazine is life, and
Yeah,
I think
life magazine.
I don't know. I guess it looks like I don't know. Maybe Life was a magazine. I don't think so, but maybe it was. I don't know. But yeah,
Yeah,
number
I
25, quintessence of life. So he wants that for the cover.
yeah, but it's like when the film is mounted, all of the films there except for negative 27.
25.
So or yeah, 25, sorry. And there's it's kind of like, oh, where is it? Did you misplace it? And then, everyone's kind of looking around. But then there was a call for a meeting. So, they're still kind of like, oh, well, we don't know where this is, but we got to go to this meeting. So, uh they go up to a meeting, and then that's when they kind of break the news that this issue indeed will be the last one. And then they oh, I forget the guy's name. Because he's such a dick. The guy with the bad beard,
Yeah, Adam Scott. Yeah,
Adam Scott's character, kind of asks Walter Mitty, um, uh, do you have the last film? Where is it? And then, of course, he Walter Mitty spouts off, oh, it's getting processed, because
yeah,
that's you don't want to tell them that you lost something that's so important, the last picture of the last episode ever, or the issue ever. So he kind of like plays that off, and it's whatever. Um, so he goes back down to the basement, or wherever the processing is for this film, and they're like, well, we've got to figure out where this is, and they go through all of the film and they're trying to look for clues, and then that's kind of something that leads to the next part of the movie of trying to figure out where the hell this last negative is.
yeah. Sean O'Connell sends a telegram saying that he wants -25 to be used for the covers, Contestants of Life, and Adam Scott doesn't seem to know what quintessence means, which is
Yeah.
kind of a funny moment. So he has to see it, and yeah, makes fun of Walter Mitty a bit, and then leaves the meeting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. The they actually mentioned Telegram and some old guy, you know, brought it in. And then when they have this
Yeah,
kind of pull out shot of kind of the meeting hall, there's this old guy kind of walking off to the side.
yeah.
It's just like one of those details where you're just like, oh, okay, I got it. I got it. Because, Telegram.
And
Because
then
he's such a purist. It's like
yeah,
he
so,
requires
so
like old fashioned technology. Yeah.
and you get the impression that he might not be somewhere where he can be reached by any other means. There's no
Yeah.
phones or whatever.
Yeah.
After the meeting, he has like a short conversation with Kristen Wiig's character um, about Sean O'Connell, kind of like, and how he doesn't have a phone, and people are worried about losing their jobs and stuff like that, and um,
Yeah.
then she goes in the elevator, and that's it for that scene. Hernando shows up with a what does he show up with? Something that they're looking at the film, and yeah, he's trying to get clues about where maybe the missing negative might have been taken, like where
Mhm.
in the world the photos surrounding -25 were.
Mhm. Yep. And they see that there's one picture of a boat, like the name of a boat,
That's
but they
right.
don't
Yeah,
know what it is, so they're just like, okay, there's a boat.
then I think he blows up the pictures and like goes outside to eat his lunch. Kristen Wiig's character shows up again, and he kind of explains to her what he's doing, um, and she talks about taking a class for writing mystery novels. So she thinks she can help.
Mhm. Yeah, with the details and everything. So he tells her the name of the boat and like I think they cut to like a different scene, but like later on you find out that the boat is an Icelandic boat from
Mm.
what, Iceland?
Yeah,
I forget the name of the boat, but it's something that I can't pronounce even if I saw it.
yeah. Icelandic names are like I remember when that volcano in Iceland erupted. Everybody on the news was trying to pronounce the name of it, and nobody could because it was
Yeah.
just like really long and just like unpronounceable.
Yeah.
So next, Walter Mitty is trying to get a piano that belongs to his mother out of a what is it? Her apartment?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're moving her into a like an assisted living or nursing home not a nursing home, but like assisted living. I think.
Hmm.
Um, and his sister Catherine Hahn gives him a Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah. Stretch Armstrong doll or toy
Yeah,
action figure, if
which
you will.
that was before our time, but it was a popular toy, like
Yeah.
I guess mid to late 70s, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah. They tried to bring it back in the 80s and 90s, but it didn't really take
Yeah,
off again.
yeah.
But that was kind of like another thing that he had. So he's got this Stretch Armstrong thing. Um, he also later on, I think he meets uh, what is her name? Uh, was it Cheryl? Son, John, or Named John or Robert? The kid.
Yeah, the yeah, Kristen Wiig's character's kid. Yeah,
Yeah. And that was kind of like a, I guess, a new introduction because he was, I think they were in the park and the kid was trying to do a kickflip. And then
yeah,
Ben Stiller's character was like, I can, he was kind of like giving him pointers. It's like, well, you have to push it and flick it more. And then he's like, do you want me to show it? Show you how to do this? And he was like, yeah, sure. So Ben Stiller, as Kristen Wiig's character, is like talking on the phone. He's like doing all these mad sick tricks in the background. It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. And I was thinking while that was happening, is this just going to be like a daydream? But no, it wasn't. He was really
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah, that one. I didn't know exactly what was going to happen in that one, but yeah, apparently he was really good at skateboarding.
Yeah. And
Um,
while they're at uh, Walter Mitty's mother's house, who's played by Shirley MacLaine, so
mm,
that's a nice little bonus there. But they find like a backpacking, a big uh, like mountaineering backpack, and a
mm,
travel journal that was like completely empty.
mm,
And you know, Catherine Hahn was saying something about how you never went anywhere, and he was like, no, I was a poor kid. A poor kid can't go see the world. And then they just sort of go back to the Life office, the magazine office.
yep,
They're in the elevator. Adam Scott is, of course, there, and I don't know. They get into some weird fight and start pulling on the arms of the Stretch Armstrong, and Walter Mitty goes into a daydream about like a very Jason Bourne type fight in the elevator with Adam Scott's character. It's really funny.
yep. All while holding this Stretch Armstrong, like not
Yeah.
not giving it out up
At
or
one
like
at
like
one point, he puts like the stretched out arm around Adam Scott's neck.
choking him out.
Yeah. And then it exits the life building. They go flying out a window and into a dumpster, the open top dumpster that's just like filled with papers and stuff. And they're just like running around the city, like tearing up the pavement and stuff. It's a crazy like chase scene, but they're on feet or like on skis or something, and or, you can't really tell like what they're on, but they're just ripping up the pavement, fighting over the Stretch Armstrong doll, and like Adam Scott grabs an umbrella, and it's just a crazy, completely absurd scene, but it's funny.
Yeah, really, really intense. Like I think it's supposed to be so outlandish that it's clearly a dream.
Yeah, it was sort of reminding me of Scott Pilgrim versus the World, like one of those scenes,
Yeah,
but without the cartoon graphics and stuff. It was just that kind of over the top action and like silliness. But back in the elevator, of course, Walter Mitty's just standing there still, not just like staring at Adam Scott until Adam Scott like pokes him in the head and like makes fun of him.
yeah, yeah.
And then he gets a call from Patton Oswalt from eHarmony
Yep, yep.
talking about how they could make his profile better.
Spruce it up. Yeah.
Yeah,
He needed to fill out the I forget what the areas that he skipped. It was like places and
places
experiences
he's
or some.
been. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And one of them was like Nashville, but that was just the airport. Like he had a layover in
Yeah.
Nashville, and he was going to that.
It's like he's been somewhere, but not really. um and then he from there he has another interaction with Kristen Wiig's character. Um
Yeah, about the boat name.
yeah, yeah, because she looked it up. Or they were gonna look it up, but
No,
the
they just found the boat name in the pictures, and he brought that to her, and she's gonna look it up.
yeah, that's
And
right.
that's when she talks about taking her kid to the park for skateboarding or whatever, and
Mhm.
asks if he wants to come, and he says, "Yeah."
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I was kind of early on that one. Yeah, yeah. and that's when, yeah, they kind of get the relationship with the kid, and shows kind of that softer side of him, which is neat.
And then the skateboard scene at at the park. Kristen Wiig's on the phone, and the skateboard thing that we were talking about happens.
Yeah.
Rich, her son's name is Rich.
Rich, that's right. Rich. And Rich is just he's a just a I don't want to say basic kid, but yeah, I mean he's just a kid.
Yeah,
Um
he's like one dimensional
yeah, nothing
preteen kid. Yeah.
yeah, nothing terribly special about him. Um
So Kristen Wiig finds out that the boat is in ice Greenland.
well there's two places. He was like it could either be in New Jersey or in Greenland.
Yeah.
So uh because she sent two like I-9s or something like that for I guess the taxes or whatever to
Yeah, like the
Sean
Port
O'Connell's.
Authority or something. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um and I think they got back notice from Greenland. Uh yeah.
And she's like, "So I guess you're going to Greenland." He was like, "What? No, I'm not going to Greenland."
Yeah, I'm not doing that. But I think somehow he got talked into it.
Yeah.
Or he came up with the idea to like that's probably going to be the best idea to do that.
He does have another daydream about Kristen Wiig saying, let's just run away together. He says he has the Benjamin Buttons disease.
Oh yeah. And then they
And
kind
as
of
he's
do like
talking,
yeah,
as he's talking, he's like starting to look older. Like a bald spot appears on the back of his head. It starts going gray, and then like there's like a montage of him just getting older and older and smaller and smaller.
turning into a baby. Yeah.
And then yeah, she's sitting on the porch of a you know
I guess their
house out in
house.
the yeah
Yeah.
with on a huge like porch swing, and he's like a tiny little old man.
Just kind of like in between like her armpit and her hip. It's just like how like a baby would lean against its mom.
Yeah, and she notices he's just like staring off into space, and she's like 20 feet away from him. She's like,
Yeah.
where do you go when you when you're doing that? And he was like, oh, I don't know, Just kind of brushes it off.
Yeah. That was kind of one of the kind of where I think well, the guy from work did that to him a lot, like, "Hello, come back here." And I
Yeah.
think that was the first time that she did it to him,
Hmm.
and the mom did it as well. So it's very, apparent that he kind of zones out a lot. He's a big daydreamer, just, like, wishing of different things or making different choices, and that's kind of like a big theme with this character. Always
Yeah.
wanting to be a little bit adventuresome, but not really wanting to go out of his comfort zone.
So back at life, he's told again by Adam Scott that we better see that picture soon and stuff like that, and he books a trip to Greenland, and off he goes, like for real.
Yep. He
And
flies
he
and then he gets to Greenland and like one of I don't know why this was so funny to me, but he gets to the car rental place and he's like, I want to rent a car. And the guy was like, we've got two. We've got a red one and a blue one. And he's like, I'll take the red one. I mean, it's like, what? It's Greenland.
yeah,
I
and
don't know why that was so
like
funny.
the airport is super tiny. The car rental place is like 50 feet away from the airport, and he just walks to it, and yeah, you can see the red and the blue car. They're like very small, tiny cars, and yeah, he takes the red one, and then he goes to like the nearest town, I guess. Well, I don't know if it's the nearest town, but it's the town that he,
It's the
I
town
guess
where
suspects.
it's I think it was the last address that Sean's character sent something to, or the
Yeah.
company since like,
Something something told
yeah,
him to go to this town. He
yeah,
goes there, there's, like, a bar. There's not much in this town. There's a bar. There's people drinking out of this big boot glasses, like the big German, um,
das Boot.
Oktoberfest kind of things, and there's a guy singing karaoke. He asks if he can get a small beer shoe and, asks the bartender about the mail, like, how they get, mail,
Hmm.
and she said there's a helicopter that,
Yeah,
delivers mail and stuff.
yeah.
And he asks about the ship. He finds out, they flew mail to the ship, and um, the guy singing karaoke, the very drunk man singing karaoke, is the helicopter pilot.
Hmm.
And he's very drunk, and he gets like, I don't know. There's some like fight that they get into with Ben Stiller, and during the fight, he notices the ring on this drunk pilot's thumb. He's seen that in one of the pictures near -25 on the Sean O'Connell film. So he sits and talks to the pilot about Sean O'Connell and where he might be.
Yeah. And that's when he realizes that he's talking to the pilot. And after that last drop of beer from his boot, or his glass, he was gonna fly to the boat and drop off some radio parts. And he was like, "You're gonna fly now?" And the guy's like slowly like nodding out as he's like, "Yeah,
And he's like, he, because this guy is so drunk, he doesn't want to get on the helicopter to go to the boat. So he asks about a radio or like a phone on the boat that he could call. And no, the radio's out. There's no phone. There's no boat phone. So the pilot is like, okay, well, I'm going to go. And he finishes his beer. And what happens? Does he have like a daydream?
he does."
Yes, he does. What does he have a daydream of?
It's Christian Wiig's character plays Major Tom on the guitar, and then that inspires him to jump on the helicopter as it's taking off.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because Major Tom, like we forgot to mention this, but Adam Scott calls him Major Tom whenever he's like, spaced out.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's kind of like a Christian Wiig's character earlier on says that uh, that song is supposed to be like the song of a like an adventurer, and it's a
Yeah, it's about
positive thing.
courage.
Yeah, and don't take it negatively. So he remembers that, and he like dreams that she's kind of playing it for him, and then he kind of runs and does it. And then the pilot like looks back and he's like, "Are you comfortable?" And Ben Stiller's character's like, "No."
But the song is Space Odyssey by David Bowie.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, the Major Tom is the character in the song, and they say
Oh,
Major
yeah.
Tom a lot, but the song is called Space Oddity.
Space Odyssey. Right.
But yeah, he gets on the helicopter, and just as they're like approaching the big boat that Sean O'Connell either is on or was previously on, the Icelandic name boat.
Yeah.
Um, they're trying to get like a Zodiac boat, one of those the rafts out
Mm.
to so he can like go in that to get onto the bigger boat, and he's got a box full of parts for the radio because the radio's out,
Yep.
and he jumps straight into the water. Like he jumps off like the wrong side of the
Yeah.
helicopter or
That was
something.
so fast.
So the box full of parts sinks to the bottom of the ocean, and his he goes to the surface and gets picked up and eventually gets on the boat.
Yeah. I forget what the dialogue is on the boat. Oh, he realizes because they're eating this cake um on this boat, and he's like, that looks like my mom's cake. Where did you get that cake? And then he found out that he got that from O'Connell. So
Right.
he's been
Yeah.
there. So that's like the second instance of the cake.
Yeah. And the cake is wrapped in a piece of paper that has like words on it that are like half words or something. Or no, they're just words. For a while I thought the paper was like torn in half and like only half of the words were there, but no, it's like an itinerary for a photo shoot.
Right. Right. So he's got his clue for where to go.
Yeah.
And he goes like they
Yeah, there's a name of a volcano. He asked one of the guys on the boat like what this word is, and it's an Icelandic word. It's a volcano in Iceland, and it has a date that is the next day. So he's got to go to Iceland now.
right. Yeah, he gets back to shore and then he gets to, I guess, like one of the houses near where the volcano is. Um and then he just kind of like shows something to one of the people there. He's like, "Where is this?" And the guy's like pointing, and then you see a plane kind of fly over with a guy standing on top of the wings, and that's who we need to find.
Yeah,
That's
Sean.
Sean. So then the guy's like, "Where's the next airport, or where's the nearest airport?" And then he tells him like, "Oh, I don't know. It's some Icelandic speak." Um, so uh, Ben Stiller's character takes what, a bicycle, or
Yeah,
he like,
he rides a bike to another town. Um, but he on the way he like has a he crashes and
yeah,
the bike's like unusable now.
yeah,
So in this town, he like runs to it, and in this town he finds some kids and he asks them about the volcano and where it is and stuff. And he trades the Stretch Armstrong for a longboard, skateboard.
yep, yep. Very very cool skateboard, and then there's like a really I think a badass kind of longboard scene of him just going down these just amazing mountains.
Yeah, well, in this town, he like goes to a hotel or something. Nobody's in there. He goes out the back. There's a guy loading his car to get out of there, and he's like yelling at him in Icelandic. Um, and yeah, Ben Stiller sees like over the hill where he's gonna go, and it's like the perfect um, there's the perfect road for the longboard. Just like putting where you lean down, you put your arms behind you and stuff, and just go as
Just
fast as
go.
you can.
Yep.
And that's he goes to the next town. He like fashions some like pads. They're not really pads. He like straps some rocks to his hands so that he can like go around the curves, by putting his hand down on the road,
Yeah.
and then he takes off.
Yep. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. But then
He makes it
he
to the town, and it's totally abandoned.
yep. Yep. And he meets the guy from that inn, I believe.
Yeah, he's like yelling at him. He's like, "The volcano is about to erupt," and he gets in the car, and they take off, narrowly avoiding like a an ash cloud.
Yeah. Next scene, it's like the car just covered in ash.
hmm He's in another town, and there's a Papa John's there, so he goes in the Papa John's to try to figure out his next move.
Mhm.
A Papa John's that you can go into and eat, and not
I
just like pick up a pizza and leave.
I guess, and yeah, like I guess that's a thing there.
Yeah, I guess things are too spread out there for them to like make deliveries and stuff, so they just have a little dining area.
That makes sense though. Um,
but he's lost Sean,
Mhm.
and he calls Kristen Wiig's character, and she gives him some new clues. Like he's frustrated, and he like tells her he doesn't know where you should go next is, and he reads like the other names on the paper that was the cake was wrapped in,
Yeah.
and I think she gives him the next like idea.
Yep. And he goes back to the States, and he has a talk with his mom, um, and this is where kind of he stares, he's, like, just sitting down in his mom's new place, um, and he kinda, looks at their piano, and then he recalls from the, film strip that he was given, that there was a picture of a piano. And then he just kind of like takes the picture up and he kind of looks at it and it matches perfectly. And he asks, "Mom, has Sean been here before?" And then uh she's like, "Yes." And then he asked, did he take a picture of the piano? And she's like, "No, I took the picture." So then there's kind of like, "Oh, okay." And then that's kind of like where we learn the next destination, because she tells him that he's going to talk with warlords and then he's going to need
Yeah,
the cake.
that's right. Yeah, warlords. So he figures out, or he Googles a bit and finds out that it was like ungoverned Afghanistan that
Yeah.
Sean was going to.
Yeah, he's got to go to Afghanistan. So then there's this kind of funny meetup with a warlord, and he gives them like just the cake and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is it." And then there's it's kind of like a montage of him just traveling the mountains, the
Yeah,
Himalayas.
yeah,
So he's got these are they Sherpas?
yeah.
So he's got two Sherpas with him and they're just kind of climbing the mountains, and they're
They
out.
give him at some point they give him I don't know if they're coca leaves or what, but there's it's implied that there's something like coca leaves that they're good for um elevation sickness and stuff, and they're basically just like cocaine, not cocaine, but like that. They're a
Yep.
stimulant.
Yeah, opens up the airways so you can breathe more, breathe better, or whatever. In higher altitudes, that's apparently like really good for you.
Yeah.
Like the coca candies, they give those to you. Um, and then there's kind of a funny scene where they get to this kind of one point where the Sherpas are like, "No, we're not going any further," and they're like doing this sign language to each other. And then he's like, "Okay, fine, I'm going, I guess."
Yeah.
Uh,
It's like the end of a, a part with a bunch of like ropes with like tattered flags on them, and they're like, "No, he and I aren't going any further. You can keep going."
yeah,
So he keeps going.
yeah. He keeps going, and then he forget how he stumbles on Sean's character.
Well, first while he's like really high in the mountains, he gets a call, and it's Patton Oswalt's character from
Oh,
eHarmony.
that's right. That's
And
right.
he's
So
talking
he
to him, and he's walking along, and then he hears a voice to his left, and it's Sean O'Connell. He's got a blanket over his head. He's got his camera out. He's trying to get a picture of a um,
snow leopard.
what is it? The snow leopard. Yeah, yeah, snow
Yeah.
leopard. They're very shy. They don't come out a lot. So he sits
Hmm.
down and talks with him for a while.
Yeah. So you get this kind of I guess a deeper look into Sean's character, that he's definitely a purist, and he likes to live in the now moment, um,
Yeah,
which I think is kind of cool. And he kind of gives a little bit more detail about the negative 25. He tells Ben Stiller's character that, um, well, did you look in the wallet?
yeah. He said or Walter Mitty asked them where number 25 was, and Sean O'Connell says, "You're sitting on it." And he doesn't know
Oh,
what he means by that.
yeah,
And he was like, "It's in the wallet," but he had thrown the wallet away.
yeah, yeah. He did that when he was at his mom's house because he was so mad that Sean was there and he's kind of like, he didn't give him what he needed at that time, or at least what he thought he needed at that time. So he
Yeah,
just threw it away.
and
So
he
then
tells Sean O'Connell that, and kind of like says, "Why did you do that?" I mean,
yeah.
Walter Mitty's telling Sean O'Connell, "Why'd you put it in the wallet? That was a stupid thing to do."
Yeah.
And Sean O'Connell's like, "I thought it'd be funny."
Yeah, yeah. He's like, and then he goes, "Well, did you look at it?" Yeah.
But then the
So
snow leopard comes out, and they have a look at the snow leopard through the
yeah.
camera.
And then it's like, this moment where uh Walter Mitty's like, "Well, are you gonna take this picture? You've been waiting all this time." And he's like, Sean O'Connell is like, uh some pictures I just don't take. I have them for myself. And that was kind of like one of those like moments where it's like you're just taking this moment for you,
Yeah,
just living in the now. And then they're like, Sh- Sean's character goes down to play. I guess they were playing soccer with the
yeah. Just I guess mountaineering people that Sean O'Connell was traveling with. They're
yeah.
like Sherpas and um, I don't know, Mongolians or something. I don't know, but they're like,
Mhm.
they're playing soccer, and Walter Mitty joins in.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, which yeah, it seems like that's like one of those big like, I don't know, like live now in the moment and have fun with what you have.
Yeah,
Kind of an important message that I think we all need. Yeah, yeah, living in the present. Sorry.
and then after that scene, like the sun's going down where they're playing soccer, and Walter Mitty's heading back home, and he gets
Yep.
stopped by airport security somewhere, and gets tased and or not tased, but like maced something for some reason. I don't know. Oh, he had a flute or something, and I guess because he was in Afghanistan, they suspect him of I don't know, being shady.
Mm. I mean, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, and then he goes to, does he get arrested at that time?
Well,
No.
they're like asking him who he can call, and stuff like that, and they show him getting out with his mountaineering backpack, and it's Patton Oswalt from eHarmony. He apparently
Yeah,
called him, and he came and got him out of uh, border protection or whatever,
yeah,
and gives him a hug. They sit down, have a Cinnabon at the airport, and you know, Patton Oswalt's telling him his profile on eHarmony's doing better, and they talk about Kristen Wiig's character and stuff. And he's, I guess they're done with that, and he goes and meets up with his mom and his sister.
yeah. And that's, he kind of tells what he's been doing to his mom. Uh uh and then so he's kind of feeling dejected and like, oh, I wasn't able to do this. And then his mom's like, um oh yeah, well, he says, Ben Stiller's character, says, well, Sean put it in the wallet, I threw the wallet away. No, and then his mom's like, well, I've got it. I keep all of your
Yeah,
things.
she fished it out of the garbage, hands it
Yeah,
to him.
mom knows best. And then he kind of looks at it, and we don't actually get to see the image um until kind of like the final cover, but uh he goes back to the office, and
Yeah,
they're kind of like doing like a, I guess, a finalizing of the cover. Like they don't have the right picture, but they're just kind of working on something. They're kind of
Yeah.
like working on like a motto or
They're also like
whatever.
dismantling like the office and taking the signs down and everything.
Yeah.
But he goes down to the basement, I guess, where the negatives are stored, and puts the cover together, delivers it to the like one conference room left where all the executives are.
Yeah.
Like it's in an envelope. We still haven't seen it, but he
Yeah.
delivers it to them,
And
and they're
then
gonna go. They were gonna go with no photo on the cover for the final cover for the final issue,
yep.
but he delivers the picture.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Well, this is the quintessence of life. You this is what he wanted. This has to go." And then he kind
Yeah.
of confronts the I guess the VP guy or whatever. And then he's like, "Do you know our motto?" Then I think uh he's like, "Oh, life have it your way," or something like that.
I'm loving it. The
Yeah, oh
McDonald's.
yeah,
I'm loving it. Yeah.
I'm loving it. Yeah, and it's like, "Oh, that's McDonald's." And then, he just kind of like walks out.
Yeah.
It's just kind of
He
like one
has
of those.
his like his moment to one up that guy, and
Yeah.
meets back up with Hernando. They're like carrying their stuff out of the office, and um um what?
He finds out that everyone basically got fired. Like everyone has been like let go.
Yeah,
Um yeah.
and he gets an email from Kristen Wiig's kid with a
Yeah.
video of him skateboarding because he gave that skateboard that he got in Iceland to her kid.
Yeah,
Left it.
yeah, that was yeah, he went to her house and he saw a man there and he was just kind of figuring, well, that's her new man or whatever.
She got back together with her ex or something.
Yeah. So he just kind of left it there and he kind of like literally ran off cuz he didn't want to deal with that rejection, I guess.
Yeah,
Um yeah,
he goes
so
back
he
to the
gets
wife, hands in his badge, and gets his severance package.
mhm. Yeah.
And he walks out and he sees Kristen Wiig's character catches up with her, and she tells him that wasn't her. That was somebody fixing her refrigerator or something
Yeah.
that he saw.
Or maybe that was her ex and he was just there to fix it. Like,
Yeah, maybe that was it.
yeah. So then they kind of walk down the street and we finally get to see the cover because
Yep.
they walk past a newsstand and they, both of them kind of recall to themselves. They're like, "Oh, today's the release of the new issue. Let's check it out." So they kind of look at it and I forget what the motto was on the cover. Um, it was like, "To all the people who made this happen or made this
Yeah.
possible," or the dedication. I should have written that down, but I didn't.
Yeah. It was basically saying that the people who worked on the magazine were the quintessence of life, but it's a picture of Walter Mitty,
Yeah.
like outside of the building, um, looking at um, negatives or something.
Yeah, yeah, like a sheet of negatives, and it's just kind of like one of those, like, cherry on the cake. It's
Yeah.
it's it's such a great full circle.
And that was it.
Um,
That was
that was
the ending. It was a good
yeah,
movie.
yeah, I think, it was surprising. I thought it was gonna be more of a rom-com, than, what it actually turned out to be, which was, uh, I think a positive for me. I mean, rom-coms are good, but this one was, I think, a little bit different in the sense of it was more fixated on the journey of the individual opposed to the relationship of the two people in the sense of like Walter Mitty and then um, uh, Christian Wiig's character.
Yeah, I thought it was the best ending that the movie could have had. It wasn't. it made clear what the future was going to be for Walter Mitty. He
Yeah.
wasn't going to have to daydream about a lot anymore.
Right. Right. So, well, that was I think that was an amazing movie, and if you guys haven't seen it, definitely check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So until next time, guys. Later.
Later.